Hello everybody, it's your boy and here I'm coming at you guys with another YouTube video. So in today's video, it is going to be a video on how is best to prepare for the new update, for the big update that's coming with the Sigma sector, Serena, Ultimate Blast, so on and so forth. I'm going to give you a major rundown on what I believe is the most efficient way to farm and get ready for everything in this coming update. So let's get right on into today's video. Before we do that though, real quick, my creator code is going to be on screen right now, so please do use that. My Twitch and my Discord are also linked in the description. I've got everything you'll ever need in my Discord server, and I stream daily right now on Twitch anyways, so please do sure to drop me a follow on there and check out my Discord. Now with everything out of the way, let's get on into today's video. So first off, let's talk about the dogs. So the dog that is coming, the Labrador, in the new update is going to be our first main focus of this video. For the Labrador, you're going to need fortified supplement, synthetic calcium, and then you are also going to need the ultimate protein compound. Now, a Void Vessel is the only way to get this resource. So let me run over Void Vessel real quick, and I'll give you the pros and cons of Void Vessel anyway. If you do look at this little thing over here for the dailies, you can see that they are going to be giving us ultimate protein compound. So this more or less confirms the fact that we will be using the same upgrade materials for the pets in the new update. Other than that, they've already confirmed it on Reddit, but you know, let's just act like we didn't know that anyways. Now, whenever you do complete a Void Vessel run, you will get 6 decryption keys. Now, some people have loads of them saved up from previous events, and some people don't. So the only boxes we are actually going to need to open is going to be the genetic information boxes. That one is going to be the important one, and one of the two that we actually need to focus on. The broken materials, open them anyways because they cost nothing to open. And then the second one you are going to want to focus on is the special materials box. Now the special materials box has another quite good benefit in my opinion. This benefit is that if you open it, you can get all of the materials for a catalyst as well. So you will get like all the materials to craft almost one entire catalyst. So you are definitely going to want to farm this out. Number one, to basically get your dog resources, and number two, this is going to give you a ton of catalyst resources. You're definitely going to be here for a while farming this, so you know, get cozy, lock in and relax. I would recommend using Bunny or a fast Descendant, and I would also recommend having the Voltia equipped, and let me show you why. So if you do have a look at this point in Vessel, there becomes enemies that have shields around them, which are just, you know, infuriating, and you know, you can't just delete them with your abilities, which is something that a lot of people are not very happy about, which is something I can understand, because you know, I would also prefer to just jump over and around them with Bunny. But there is a very simple workaround for this shield bubble, and this also applies to the other shield bubble as well. So let's just get out of the combat zone and let's put the Voltia on. Beam weapons, or more specifically the Voltia, is very good at just completely deleting all of the shields. So let me show you some gameplay of me actually using the Voltia in this run, because I suck and I didn't make the jump because I forgot about grapple cooldown. Let me show you what the Voltia actually does up against the enemies with the shield bubbles on them. So we are a little bit later inside of the purge now, or sorry, the vessel, and you can just see the Voltia, it will chain and it will just delete everybody's shield all at the same time. So you know, if you are running Bunny, you can literally just run around, keep the Voltia inside of your hands, and whenever it comes to any enemies with the bubbles on them, literally just shoot the Voltia for like 1 second and all of their bubbles will drop and you will just eliminate them very nice and very easily. Now you can also use an ace, you know, whichever Descendant you prefer. My personal preference is Bunny because she's the absolute best. You can fight me on that in the comments, I will win. And yeah, that's basically the main rundown of Vessel. There's one other trick that I want to quickly show you as well with the Voltia, so let's get on into that as well. Now I did show that the Voltia can destroy the orange bubbles, which of course it can, it is a weapon. However, the Voltia, for some reason I cannot explain to you, also works on the ability bubbles, so that is the blue bubbles. So you can see over here, the boss has just put his shields up and I'm just using the Voltia. Delete the shield and we're good to go again. Now what this means in theory is that you could use this with Glare, and with Glare you'd be able to open everything, delete the boss very fast if you were to use the last dagger build, and then you can just keep it kicking from there. You know, another way to basically just delete the boss fast AF, and then you know, you'd be slower in the rest of the purge, but I still think it's actually somewhat of a cool option. But that's basically everything you need to know for Void Vessel. Let me just quickly get this boss eliminated because there is a glare in my lobby. Shout out to my boy. And yeah, there you go. Void Vessel done and dusted. And the more important part is that you will also be able to get some gold over here. And from this gold, you can get whatever. From the mission results, however, this is why it becomes even nicer, you will get a decent chunk of gold. You'll get a hunter parts, so you'll get hunter parts, and in this run I did end up getting the catalyst materials just from the mission reward completion. And the more important part is that you can still get way more than that in one run, and that is essentially it. That's everything you need to know about void vessels for now. You get your decryption keys, rinse and repeat the cycle. Next up, let's talk about the two other big things in the room, and that is going to be the core particle disruptors and the core binders. Now, this requires the void abyss metal fragment, and let's talk about this one for a short minute. Now, the defiler is going to be the #1 fastest way for you to get yourself this fragment. Now, with the defiler, if you do run the glaze setup, you can get like 5-6 seconds, 4-5 seconds, like almost every time. So that is the absolute fastest way to do it. Now, I was timing these runs that I did, including loading out and back in, and I was getting about 50 seconds total, including load times, which means if you were to do a run with defiler and get like 50 fragments every single time, you can still end up getting well over 2,000 fragment within 1 hour. And if you get good RNG and get into the 60s and 70s of fragments, you can end up with 3,000 to 4,000 fragment in 1 hour, which is 2 whole core binders, which I think is absolutely freaking great. You can see here this run took me 6 seconds, and I did end up getting a full 79, so that was some pretty good RNG right there. But you can also get less, it can vary. Now let me go over the best and the worst case scenario. Now in the best case scenario, you only have to do 25 games roughly if you keep hitting 79s, but that's not going to be realistic. And the absolute worst case scenario is doing 40 runs, and that is essentially when you get 50 every single time. Now with this, I'd like to say somewhere in the middle, so I'd say on average it would probably take you 30 to 32, 33, 34 runs to get yourself all of the resources for the defiler to make yourself one of these binders. So that is the main bit with the defiler, at least. But the defiler is not the only way that you are going to use to get yourself some of this metal abyss void fragment. Now I'm sure other people will already know what I'm talking about, but once I do kill the defiler over here, let's talk about the second way you can also get all of this fragment, which honestly I think is probably the better way, but let's talk about that now. Now the second way to get yourself the fragments in this game is going to be the following. If you were to run any of the 400%, whether it be on public or whether it be on private, you're going to get a ton more benefits. Now they've added external components, so you can farm out a set. So you know, if you don't have your supernova, you can farm it out. Different ones depending on the rotation day, but at the end of every single run, you will receive 40 metal abyss fragment along with 2 amorphs. Now this I personally feel like hits the nail on the absolute head, because if you were to farm out all of a core binder inside of 400%, then you've got all the material patterns you need to open up for catalyst, which is also going to be another major thing coming up shortly in this video. Now I did mention that you get a fixed amount of 40 every single time you do one of these runs, so that means you will have to do 50 400% runs in order to make yourself one core binder. Now in terms of time, that is nowhere near as efficient as of course, you know, running the defiler. You can get the defiler done in 20 to 30 odd games, which will take you about 30-40 minutes, and that will be one core binder there, and this will take you significantly longer depending on what the 400% is. But the additional bonus of having a perfect set in your inventory and having all the material patterns that you can then just go crack open for another hour and get a ton of catalysts out of is going to be absolutely great, and that's also going to be my next point in this video. And on top of that, when you are running Void Vessel, you will be getting all the resources for catalyst anyways. So this farm, the 400%, the Void Vessel work hand in hand. If you're crazy and you just need to get the freaking, what is it called, the fragments, if you just need the fragments and you're already good on catalyst, then farm the defiler out. If you need a little bit of both, then I would suggest the 400%, because they are just the most beneficial runs in the game for absolutely everything at this point. Now let me quickly fast forward this run up till the end so you can see what we get at the end. Okay, so now the run is over. This is essentially what we got at the end of it. Now, going straight into my mission rewards, you can see I did 288 mil damage, but we got 2 material patterns, which are an executioner pattern, very easy boss to kill, and then you can scroll down, we got the external components, a little bit of extra nice things there, some more executioner parts, and then we got the void abyss metal fragments, 40 of them as I mentioned, and you get the ETA vouchers to trade into the shop. They are also very beneficial because you can get yourself some very good rewards from that, but that is basically the main bit of this. Then once you have caught up on your 400%, you can see I've got myself over 100 of these material patterns. You're just going to want to crack them open and get as many catalysts as you can. It is basically as simple as it gets. Now at this point I don't really need to give you a rundown on how to beat a Colossus, however I want to give you this little trick with the executioner. So if you line up around about there, just to the side of that right there, you can see that once the executioner comes in, he's going to walk straight into the poison, he'll be straight immune. You pop your material pattern open, you escape out, and you can just restart immediately. I did not get a catalyst in that run, but in the next one I'm pretty sure I will. So you know, that is all you need. And then once you basically have got the execution down and you are opening your pattern, your dog will go and pick up all the drops anyways. So if you are worried about that, you can still do this very fast to a very good extent, and your dog will still pick all the drops up for you. Will you get every single one? Probably not, no. However, you will still get majority of the drops, and that is essentially everything you need to properly farm out everything for the Beyond the Void update. And that has essentially been this video. Please do smash that like button, and if you are new here, please do consider subscribing. Again, I've just shown you the line up right over there, and then just going to delete the executioner, pop open the ammo, and we'll just call it there. So the executioner is down. Let's see what we get over here. Carlos, yo, Carlos!